The pea gravel company down there. Probably costly.
And then this is going to be the payroll grand totals.
They bid it in cheaper than what Hanson was.
And these are all the receipts and disbursements for
They're real.
February of 2021.
That's our old report.
I think so too, but that's my.
One page.
All right.
It's
Let's go.
clean.
You ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, notice is hereby given that we're going to hold a regular meeting of the Hill County Commissioners Court today, Tuesday, the 23rd day of March, 2021. At this time, before we take this undertaking, let us first ask for an invocation. Judge Brazel, will you give us the invocation?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this amazing day. Give us, Lord. Lord, we praise you and we bless your holy name for the blessings you pour out upon us and our county people in this time. Lord, we pray that you be with this court, give them wisdom, give them strength. We love you and praise you in Jesus' name. I pray.
If you follow me in the pledge of the American and Texas flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, thank you for all being with us today. Let the record reflect this meeting was posted in accordance with Texas Code 551, better known as the Texas Middle Meetings Act, and a quorum of commissioners is present established with everybody being here this morning. Now that we've got that on the record, how's everybody doing? Marty, what's happening this morning?
Well, we had a tree down, so they're checking on the big trees and out the other side of our task is. Other than that, we're hauling gravel and blading roads.
Now they took a bunch of that millings off the 35 and put it in your yard. You have a new mountain in Itasca, I understand.
It's only about a third of what I'll get on the south side.
So you've got all that millings off of the state highway, and your goal is to go back and relay that on county roads at a future date? I think that'll be good. No cost associated to that for the county then.
So far, there hasn't been any, so, I mean, they haul it and they have a bulldozer and push it up.
Well, good.
So it's a freebie so far. We can't use it until the highway department comes and measures it and does whatever they do, but it'll probably be next year because they said it's probably 2 to 3 months where they do the rest of 35. Right now, it's just from 29.59 with Hillsborough.
Okay.
They said about 2/3 more than they go into 21. So it's going to be a nice pop.
I think so. That's good. It's a lot of free material. Good deal. Commissioner Scotty, what's happening in precinct 3?
Well, we got our first wind turbine in Hill County up Saturday afternoon.
Kind of on the fence about that, but okay.
Well, it's there.
I
You can see it real ways too.
imagine.
We got our bridge started over on 3206, we got the head fault done, so, working on that, and, we got our sled field brought in at the new barn.
Oh, good. How's that progressing?
Lay out forms Thursday morning, I believe. So, probably next week. So, moving on.
Wonderful. Good deal. Commissioner Larry, what's going on in precinct 2?
Well, I'm grateful for the rain and what farmers got their corn in the ground and wheat good now. We just still been hauling rock, laying roads, replacing culverts. We helped Mr. Hawkins 2 or 3 days last week. Also let the building get in built up.
I appreciate precinct 2 helping us. They really stepped
Tear up one of my own county roads myself.
What'd you do tearing up your own county road for? Come on,
Yeah,
man.
I didn't want to, but
Okay.
it happened. But, same old thing, you know.
Good deal. Commissioner Andy, what's going on in precinct 1?
Well, we had a pretty tough week after that freeze. We had several water pumps on quickly, freeze up and bust, and a couple of pickups, and I don't know why, but I'll have antifreeze in them. But Mother Nature. I can't really elaborate too much, but one of our trucks got tore up in a wreck, and so we'll just leave it at that. So we're kind of down some equipment, but we're still plugging along. We finished one film project. It's gonna start another one, and man, the sheriff's office and their environmental guy. Thank you, Sheriff. That guy's cleaning up our county.
I'm happy with that program.
Man, I'll tell you what, he needs help. But He's
We'll
doing
talk
an
about that during break
outstanding
time.
job. Yes, he's doing an outstanding job. cleaning up stuff. We do appreciate it very much.
No doubt at all. Sheriff, what you got going on today, sir? We appreciate it. I'm gonna say that Jeff Ward, you've got hired over there, doing a heck of a job getting on those illegal dumpers. Yeah, so we're really appreciative of that. Anything from the constable for JP's? Nothing? Philip, what's going on IT?
Just continuing with the recovery efforts. We got, finally got our phones in, recently. Did get, our last available phone installed in the treasurer's, not the treasurer's office, the tax office. The tax office late yesterday afternoon.
You got one up?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
And so they do have a phone. So just continue with the recovery efforts and rebuild of the new system.
Okay, wonderful. Is there any other appointed or elected official that has anything? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Swilling. You got somebody introduced to us today?
Yeah. To my new hire, this is Rachel Parker.
Ms. Parker,
Assistant
welcome.
Auditor. And she had been working in Clifton at the hospital there and has a lot of experience in financial matters and IT
Good.
experience as well, so we welcome her.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, look forward to y'all come up and see her.
Will do. Welcome aboard, Ms. Parker. Pleasure to have you with us then. All right, good deal. Any other elected appointed official? Yeah, go ahead.
Remind the auditors will be here this week, starting Wednesday. I was looking at the schedule and they have.
Oh, careful.
Excuse me.
You don't want it. Thank you. Yeah, there you
Messed up.
go. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Here we go. The fixed assets schedule is on Thursday and Friday. Now, most of these commissioners don't work Friday, so Cynthia will try to get, they send out a list of things they want to review, and we'll try to, I guess, take care of the precincts on Thursday, and then they'll have some for the sheriff as well, and some of the other offices. They look at things not only that were purchased this year, but that were purchased in the past years as well.
Okay.
And, but Cynthia has a list of what they want to look at for you, commissioners. So if you want to meet with her, she can email it to you or come up here. That was the main thing. And anybody, that was the main deal. Just to be sure y'all were aware of that. Now, y'all aren't in school this week or anything, just the judge. I can't let them know. But anyway, we'll be calling. Philip, you too, they'll have some things for you as well.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Nobody else?
You're
Nobody?
good, right?
All right. Nobody else. All right. Since we met last in, here's what I've got. We're going to break it down to construction project, COVID issues, and other realms of things that I find interesting. So start off with the construction. Obviously, we're still moving forward on this. We're looking realistically at a 6-month to 1-year process to get this building straightened back out. For those of you who aren't aware, or just to recap, we had during the great snowpocalypse of 2021, a dry hydrant on the sprinkler system, allegedly dry hydrant above the 3rd floor, the same way it was designed all those years ago, froze and broke. And when it broke, that fire pump, I can tell you, works. It ran for a good bit of time, flooded this building. So you see that we've taken a lot of sheetrock out. We're now in the process of, with the insurance company last week, between the insurance, the restoration people, and a third-party adjuster, made an agreement to take the floor out. They took out the floor in the law library last week. So the floor is, what you see underneath is kind of unique. This is a longleaf pine floor that actually came out of the Texas State Capitol during the renovation from 1989 to 1991. Underneath it's a layer of tar paper. Underneath it is plywood. And then underneath that, you can look at that hallway, there's 4-inch thick, lightweight concrete. What's happened is that water's been trapped between that plywood and that concrete. So we've had to pull up the top floor. It was still wet on the underlayment. Everybody agreed to do it, and sure enough, the plywood's wet. So you're going to see a lot of plywood start coming out of here. In the next couple of weeks, they'll start pulling up the floors in the JP's office, the jury rooms, Old County Court of Law, this courtroom, the district courtroom. So, and the law library again is already up. The good news is this went a lot better than anticipated. We thought they'd ruined this floor, unfortunately, when they went to pull it up. The one in the law library, they busted, I think, a total of 10 sticks. That's it. So we're going to do some swapping around. At the end of the day, the floors will look good. They'll refinish them. but they've got to still take these floors up in here because the water that's trapped underneath them. If you go down in the basement, you can look up in spots and see over in these corners where the fire didn't burn the original wooden floor that's underneath us. That's going to dry out. Doesn't smell too good right now, but it's going to dry out. It's the areas where it's concrete, where the water's trapped, that's been the issue. We should have some, hopefully before the end of this week, some numbers from both Belfour Restoration and then Basic IQ, which is another state CRE bid contractor, on what we're looking at in the way of costs. The insurance has covered everything to date, and we continue to work closely with Belfour, saying they will cover it. Belfour is submitting things to insurance for a decision before they even submit it to us, whether they'll cover it or not. So we continue to move forward, but it is going to be an ongoing construction project. As for the Franklin Street, we had to spend some money down there. We didn't want to spend the building we're trying to get rid of, but we improved the plumbing. So we went through the back, all 6 toilets in that building connect into one 4-inch pipe that goes out the back into the sewer. That pipe was a piece of cast iron. I've seen Swiss cheese with more integrity, structural integrity, than that pipe had. So they broke the concrete out, replaced that pipe, and they've gone ahead and they've redone it. It works now, and Lucio's laying the floor on top of it this week to make it look a little better. Most of the public won't see it. It's all in the back in that kitchen area, back through the IT storage area, whatnot. The other thing in there is we've got the process finished for the front, cleaning up a little bit of paint, sheetrock, and some flooring, taking that wet carpet out. So it's in pretty good shape. It's not pretty, but it's a lot better than it was. If we go down to the Waco Street Support Services Facility, as we talked about as a group, we're going to move our IT server room mostly out of this building. There will still be an IT server room in this building, but now that we know that there's a structural flaw, when they redesigned this building in the 90s, they put a halon gas system in the IT room, no water sprinklers, which makes sense. The problem is that's a low spot on the 3rd floor, and all the water collected over it and came straight down to it. Knowing that, we can't rebuild the IT room there. So we're going down inside the old drunk tank at the old Waco Street Jail. We're building a server facility in a bomb shelter inside of a tornado shelter. So it turns out it's a Faraday cage too, didn't know that. So we have the air conditioners installed there. The sub panel has already been run now. And then the main air conditioning unit for the front has been replaced. It's a newer unit. The old unit was 30 some odd years old. This unit draws about 10 amps less. That way, everything in the front of the building, plus the lights in the back and the storage, can be run off of the generator. So now that building has triple redundancy in internet service, it has redundancy in power, and it's pretty well built. So I feel like things are coming along there. We still continue to work with IT. They're ordering more servers to bring them in to replace the damaged ones, and that process is going as quickly as it can. Unfortunately, due to the just massive amount of demand for Philip's time, it's one of those things that he's going to get to it when he gets to it, but he's working on it. So that's kind of our construction right now. I know that Commissioner Lake has been taking the architects through the other buildings, looking at Covington Street. We continue to make those moves down there. Let's turn around to COVID. COVID for these last couple of weeks. We're at some low numbers. We're at about 7.5% hospitalization rates. As of yesterday, according to the state, we had about 44 people that were positive. Folks, I don't want anybody to think that this pandemic is over. I know a lot of folks think it may be. We're just in a lull right now. There's a lot of people with antibodies right now out there. I encourage you, I beg you, please continue to wear your masks in public. Please do so. I ain't going to tell you you have to. I'm just saying the right thing to do. And if you happen to follow the teachings of Christ like I do, I think it's the Christian thing to do, is to wear your mask in public to protect one another. The fact of the matter is people have antibodies in their system that are lasting longer than we thought they would. Originally, we said 3 months, 4 months for antibodies. I'll give you an example in my household. My daughter, she got COVID-19. This was back in June. We did not know she got COVID-19. She had no symptoms. She had nothing. But we raised her that will you give back? And she was giving blood at Carter Blood Care, 17-year-old can. She gave blood 2 weeks afterwards. Roughly, they'll send you a report, tell you your triglycerides, your blood count, white blood cell count. She had the antibodies for it in her blood, is how we found out she had it at one time. That was in June of last year. As of the 1st of February this year, she continues to express those antibodies in her blood. So we have people that are having these antibodies longer than we thought they would. We have a number of people getting vaccinated. We are not out of the woods yet. We are in an artificial lull at the moment. I hope it lasts. I pray it lasts. But folks, don't let down your vigilance. That's my message to you. Talking about vaccinations, we've been making been squeaky wheel of the state of Texas on vaccines. Why weren't we getting vaccines? Why weren't we getting vaccines? Well, they dumped a bunch of us last week. We got 1,470. We managed to get all of those in and then said, please, may I have another? And we've got an additional 1,660 people vaccinated in Hill County alone last week. That's on top of the 100 we did the week before. And we are currently in talks with the Texas Military Division, Texas Division of Emergency Management to hold a reoccurring vaccine clinic out at the county fairgrounds. So that continues to move forward. I got Tom taking a little vacation this week with his wife for the first part of the week. He'll be back tomorrow. So he can give you an update individually as he tells you what we've got going there. The last piece of construction I forgot. Thank you very much, Commissioner. We did get the concrete apron poured down at the county fairgrounds on the south end of the building. It looks
Good.
wonderful, and it's going to be a great asset for us down there, especially in weather like this when we're responding back and forth. So those are the things I'm seeing. I don't want to take up all morning in here, but just kind of give you a general update of what I've seen since the last time that we've met. I am taking off and driving to Lubbock after this. I've got to go to get some continuing legal education at the spring judicial for the county judges. I'll be teaching the guardianship class there. If anybody wants to tune in and mock me on YouTube, I think there's a good opportunity for you. So just letting you all know that. Otherwise, at this time, I'm going to move us into open forum. This is your opportunity to address the court. If you're here to address us on a matter that's not on the agenda today, please feel free to do so. But could you limit your comments to about 3 minutes in duration? And as we respect you, please show respect to the court. Open the floor for anybody here for open forum.
Only this many people go up the wall.
Somebody's got to be mad about something. Come on now. All right. Well, if that's the case, you'll think about it. Holler at me later. We're going to go ahead and move along. So we have a long agenda this morning. So the first item on our agenda this morning is our consent agenda, and that's actions on minutes of March 9, 2021, actions on the invoices of March 16th and 23rd, 2021, action on payroll of March 12, 2021, and action on the monthly report for revenue and disbursement. All of that was in your packet, or you could find them in the email sent to you by the nice young lady from the treasurer's office. So
Make the motion approved.
we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Additions, deletions, or anything we need to take off individually to discuss?
I haven't seen the payroll.
I got the payroll, okay, it showed up. You got the payroll underneath there. Did I give you the payroll earlier? Yes,
Well, you gave me the grand total.
I got the grand total sheet there. The actual payroll should have come in that email.
You didn't
get it in yours?
We've been sending the grand total
Mhm.
instead of the individual employees.
Mhm.
If that is sufficient for y'all, if it's not, then we'll revert that.
Good deal. Thank you.
It's very labor intense.
I understand. All right, any further for discussion? If not, we up in precinct number 4. All right, good deal. And we have Gillian Bracken with County Clerk's Office. Oh, Gillian's coming aboard.
Yeah, she's gonna be down.
Oh, good, part-time help, wonderful. Jordan Gatewood with the Sheriff's Office is going to go on to greener pastures. We have Jason Garcia, who's a new hire as a Drailer trainee at the Sheriff's Office. Tara Heckman, who will be a jailer trainee, is a new hire as well at the Sheriff's Office. And those are the employee wage status changes for March 23rd, 2021.
Make a motion for
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion on the issue? Oh, you want that? All right. If not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. That tasted a lot better when it was hot. All right, number 2, discuss and/or action on declaring property as surplus salvage. Obviously, we have some issues with a little bit of junk property at the moment due to the flood and some older things cleaning out buildings. So first, we have on the IT director, Mr. Philip Cantrell, has said there's numerous computers, printers, monitors, and some very old servers that have been in storage in the Irwin. These items are outdated. The warranties have all expired. The hard drives have been removed where applicable and been wiped cleaned and destroyed. The IT department requests a salvage surplus, mostly salvage because this stuff does not any longer possess a value for its originally intended purpose. And so he would like to go ahead and put that out. He has provided us a list. That's showing that to every elected official. If you want me to salvage a surplus, this is kind of a good example of how to do it. I just want to show that to everybody. So there you go. So that is a list of the salvage and surplus property that Mr. Cantrell is asking us to declare salvage today.
Make a motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second to declare the aforementioned property, which consists of a whole bunch of old stuff, as salvage.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
just real quick, just wanted to make a note, nothing that's on that list
Was
is
in
from
the-
the floods.
I saw that,
It's
yeah.
all from computer replacements that we've been doing to upgrade computers from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and also clean out some of the storage over at Irwin.
Wonderful, thank you. That storage room has come a long way since you came here. I appreciate that. Yeah, so that's the salvage. And there's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion shall carry. Good deal. All right, that leads us to the next item, which is discuss or selling a salvage surplus. Are you fine with just putting out on public auction site?
Yes,
Maybe even use Mr. Cadditt's online site?
that'd be fine.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to employ Mr. Cadditz's online auction site to sell the salvage surplus equipment, or salvage equipment, actually. Any further discussion? Just as a background for anybody here that may ask, why are we selling a bunch of old computers we should throw away? The Texas Local Government Code prohibits us from just throwing away things of public value, things of public good. Now, I told you they have no value for the originally intended purpose. The code seems to think, though, that we still need to go out and sell these things. So if you want pallet loads of old junky computers that no longer have hard drives, well, I got a place for you. I got a deal for you. So we have to attempt to sell these things before we can throw them away. It's a public trust issue. So it's kind of maddening for everybody up here, but it's the law and we're going to follow it. All right, I got that off my chest. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion shall carry. That takes us to number 4, which is discussion and action, discussion and approved bonds. Today's bonds, we have Christina Marmino with CSCD, Mrs. Tina K. Patton with CSCD, and I believe those are the 2 bonds we have. That's it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the aforementioned bonds. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it and the noes know it. Number 5, discuss under approve Hill County Quarterly Investment Report ending in 9/30 of 2020. What do you got for us, Investment Officer?
We had, a couple of, this one is September 30th, and, we had cash management earnings of $3,500. Certificate of deposit of $49,000, total Hill County investment fund balance of $12,358,645.69. Yeah, classes of this are pretty. This is just a detailed, for you on our accounts, our money market funds, our CDs, investment funds that we have.
Okay, the investment committee has previously approved this?
Yes.
I know the answer to that. Yeah, I got you. Okay, good deal. That is the quarterly investment report for the quarter ending 9/30 of 20. You'll see a second one on your agenda. We'll take up in just a second for the 12/31.
Make a motion for second.
Motion and a second to approve the quarterly investment report ending 9/30 of 2020. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion shall carry. And then we'll take up the quarterly investment report ending 12/31 of 20.
It's very similar to the other, this is the end of the year report. So we have a total, looking at investment funds balance of $12,622,178.64, and again, a good detail of, all of our investments. And the investment committee has reviewed this. We've been a little stylish by meeting face to face. We've done some reviews by email.
Gentlemen, that is the quarterly investment report ending 12/31/2020.
Make motion approved. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the quarterly investment report ending 12/31/2020. Is there any further discussion on the issue? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion shall carry unanimously. All right, number 7 is discuss and approve a credit application for Monarch Mountain Minerals and Aggregates LLC. Commissioner Crumpton, what do we got?
There's a new plant down there next to Spivey's Crossing, number 1304. They're a sand and pea gravel company that make quick rot cement bags.
Okay,
And well, I've checked with them, and their pea gravel is very good material. And it's true 3/8, and it's very clean material. And they want to do our business. I've seen that they sent in a bid packet,
they did.
come in, and I want to do business with these people.
Okay,
So I make a motion, we approve the application to Monarch Mountain Materials.
okay. Motion and a second discussion. Now, just, these are the folks that, you're using this material for chip sealing roads, as I
Yes, sir.
understand it?
Yes, sir. They're also the ones that donated us 40,000 to chip seal the road.
Oh,
to their
2,200.
plant. Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Well, good company neighbors, like to have them. All right, well, there's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this issue? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any objections? No abstentions. Motion carries. Number 8, discuss and approve credit application for Imaging Spectrum. There you go, pass that one around. So we have approval at application for Imaging Spectrum. What this is are these the folks with the X-ray machine? Who was Imaging Spectrum? Somebody gave me an order, but they didn't give me a briefing, so it's not going to get acted on. So we're going to table that till next time. We'll come back to that. So number 9, discuss and approve credit application for Equipment Depot.
Well, we went down to buy a part for our brush cutter, and it'd been so long since we'd had any kind of activity on our account. They closed the account. And I just like to open it back up in case Scotty needs something for his brush cutter, or Martin, or
Okay.
Andrew. So I make a motion to approve this credit.
All right. Motion and a second to approve the credit application for Equipment Depot. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 10, observe and record appointment of Rachel A. Parker as Assistant Auditor. We have an order from the 66th Judicial District Judge and Local Administrative District Judge, Mr. A. Lee Harris, and that's pursuant to Article 152301 of Local Government Code. Following prior public hearing held in accordance with Section 152905 of Local Government Code, it is ordered that they set the annual salary of Rachel A. Parker, Assistant County Auditor of Hill County, Texas, at $31,200. Court finds the employees will be paid out of the auditor staff wage line designated in prior public hearing, replacing position formerly occupied by Tamara Henderson, and thus meets all public notice and hearing requirements. So that is the order, and it is asked that we observe and record in our official public record.
Make motion.
We have a motion and a second to observe and record the aforementioned order. Any discussion on the order? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion shall carry. Number 11, discuss or approve monthly reports from fee offices for December 20th and January 2021. You have your fee office reports, nice hefty documents. Anybody, you see, you have from the tax office, the JP offices, and several others, district clerk. Questions? Motions?
Make motion approved.
That'd be a solid thinking. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the reports of the fee offices for December 20th and January 2021. Is there any questions on these? We're collecting to date pretty well. This is not a fee office thing, but on top of it, our sales tax has gone through the roof lately. That's good. That's really good. So anyway, all right, revenue's on track for the year. You want those? Really, I'm always taking things from me.
All in favor?
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, here is the fun part. Number 12, discussion or action on bids for county supplies. So everybody got one of these. It is the reduction of this. So we took bids, we opened them last Friday, 3/15. Myself and the auditor were in there. What we did is all of these bids that we received complied with our bidding, our request, solicitation for bids, words I'm trying to get on my mouth here. So they had their bid bonds, they had their House Bill 95s or 1295s, they had the right paperwork in there. So what we did is every bid that complied with our solicitation, we took the bid sheets and tabulation sheets and we put them in here. Gentlemen, this is one of those things that always is, you know, let's go through this on this basis. So let's take the fuel and the trucking out first, separately. Okay. Then we go to road bridge materials. So there's two different ways that we can accept things. If it's a road and bridge material, we can accept any and all bids based on quantity, quality, and availability. That means we take all the bids and accept them for rock, for emulsions, for bridge culverts, things like that, based on quantity, quality, and availability. That's the easy part of this thing. And so for bridges this year, again, we had a single bid, Mr. Yoder, Arlen Yoder at a Yoder Bridge. As for gravel, we had a number of people bid this year, again, Monarch Mountain, Vulcan Construction Materials, though they're in Weatherford, so I'm not certain of that one. But I guess if you really needed something that had bad enough, you'd go to Weatherford to get it.
In Monarch?
Yeah, no, not Monarch. Monarch's in there. Monarch was the first one. The second one was Vulcan Materials.
Okay.
They have reclaim, they have hot mix, they have some cold mix.
Yeah. Connor's Crushed Stone, Martin Marietta in Dallas, Texas, who delivers things through Midlothian Pit. Sustainable Pavement Technology, that's all faults and emulsions, forgive me. So that is the road base. So we had Monarch, Connors. I didn't say Rattler, and it should be in here. We opened a bid from Rattler, didn't we? I missed past it. There's Culverts. Here's Monarch. Vulcan. Rattler, sorry, I stuck them together in here. We have all 5 bids, Rattler, Connors, and Martin Marietta. Gentlemen, I'd recommend that you accept these bids for crushed stone, based on all bids, based on quantity, quality, and availability. There you go. There's a motion, there's a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Next, let's tackle asphalts, oils, and emulsions bid sheet. Again, there are 3 different asphalt bid and emulsions, 4 different asphalts and emulsions, forgive me. Which is more than we've received in the past. We have P2 Emulsions, Texas Materials, Aragon Asphalt and Emulsions out of Austin, and then a Sustainable Pavement Technologies, LLC, out of Tomball, Texas, but apparently they have a plant in the Fort Worth area. Again, some of these people I don't see us doing business with, but since it is a road material and under the code we can take all bids based on quantity, quality, and availability, I would move that we do the same. Motion, second motion. All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the asphalt, oils, and emulsion bids based on quantity, quality, and availability. You want this actually in there? These are just the crib notes. Oh, easy. Okay, gotcha. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Then we come down to the box and concrete. That's pretty easy. We got one bid on it. I would recommend that you take Mr. Arlen Yoder's bid. Since there's only one.
And he does a very good job. So.
Oh, he does. Yeah, I'm surprised no one else bids on it though. So
I can't.
you can't touch him with 10. Okay.
This is on what?
Yoder Bridge. This is on Broad Bridges concrete box culvert bid sheet. So we have a motion and a second motion from Commissioner Crumpton, second Commissioner Hawkins, to accept the bid from Arlen Yoder for bridge and concrete box culverts. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Next is corrugated steel pipe. This got easier 2 years ago when Wilson Culverts bought out their competition. So again, there's only one bid for steel culverts.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the bid for Wilson Culverts.
They do us a good job.
Okay,
And
good.
it's not a long delay in deliveries, and they're reasonable with the other competitor for their price.
Okay, good deal, good deal. All right, well, that's, we have a motion and a second to accept the corrugated steel pipe bid from Wilson Culverts Inc. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right, so we've got through the easy part of this deal. So let's talk about this precinct at a time. All right, that's hauling. All right, we've got hauling bids. Hillsborough Sand and Gravel, we have Yannick and Witten Construction and K&M Trucking. Those are the 4 bids we've got for hauling. These times when we have to have assistance hauling because we have X number of trucks, sometimes we need more. So K&M Trucking has their rates, cost per ton at 0 to 10 miles, to 11 to 20, plus a fuel surcharge attached to the bid sheet. So he's got a fuel surcharge on an FSC scale. You'll see on the back. You guys may be more familiar with that than I am. I don't buy rock or have it hauled. So that's K&M Trucking. He bid for precinct 4, precinct 3, precinct 2, and precinct 1 individually. And we're going to have to accept these bids for trucking by precinct as how we advertised them. So Yannick and Witten again submitted bids for all 4 precincts. And his price is a flat $5 per ton, no fuel surcharge for the 0 to 10. And it goes down from there. The same thing for Hillsborough Sand and Gravel. Their flat price, no fuel surcharge, was $4 for the 0 to 10, $5 for the 11 to 20. And they go up pretty fast after that, 21 to 30. And they bid per precinct as well. So those are the bids. And by precinct, who do you guys, who are you going to use?
I'm gonna stay with Yannick and Witten. They're a little bit higher, but I don't know that I can afford to hire anybody this year anyway, with fuel price going up, but.
Being it's the lowest and best bid, I think we're going to have a reason, why we're going to go with them, even though they're higher.
Because when you call them and say, I've got a road washed out, I need 5 trucks, or I need 10 trucks, they're there, and they haul it, and they don't stop till this job's done. They don't make excuses, they don't break down, they don't pull their people off. The county's the lowest paid probably person that they have. And if you need materials brought to your yard and a better paying job comes up, some contractors will just pull their trucks off and leave you high and dry and go somewhere else and do their hiring. I think Martin's into that too. And so Yannick and Witten doesn't do that. Something you need, they come.
So it's about availability of job site and availability of doing the job is the reason you're thinking this is the best bid.
Yes,
Okay,
for me.
I understand. Is that your motion?
That's my motion for myself.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve Yannick and Witten for calling for precinct number 1. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Mr. Crumpton.
I'm gonna stay with Hillsborough Sand and Gravel.
Okay, Hillsborough Sand and Gravel.
I hadn't had a problem with them, and they've always tried to get there when I needed.
Okay, so again, that's the lowest and best bid. On the face of it, they are the medium bid, but then when you start taking into account this FCS, for K&M Trucking, who has the lowest on the face, but when you add the fuel surcharge, actually they're more expensive than.
Yep.
Okay, all right, I got you. I see what you're saying.
But he can get the truck there when I want them and need them.
Okay,
I make a motion to accept Sand and Gravel.
all right, we have a motion.
Second.
There's a second to accept Hillsborough and Sand and Gravel for hauling for precinct number 2. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Precinct number 3.
Yannick and Witten, hadn't had any luck with the current one I had.
Okay,
Can't seem to get the trucks or the rock when we need it, so Yannick and Witten in the past has always stepped up for us, so I'll make a motion to go with Yannick and Witten.
okay, so you've got a reason for your best. All right, so we have a motion and a second for Yannick and Witten for precinct number 3. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Precinct number 4.
Yannick and Witten.
Yannick and Witten, again.
I've had Hillsborough Sand and Gravel. You might get a load or 2 this week, and you might get a dozen, and then you might not be back for 6 weeks. They're just too unpredictable.
Okay, all right, so there's your reason for taking the lowest and best. All right, in which case, we've got
That's a
that.
motion.
That's a motion, and I have a second from Commissioner Hawkins. Motion from Commissioner Lake, second from Commissioner Hawkins. I'm repeating this, everybody in this room sees, so if we miss something later, it's on the record, and we can pick it up and fix it. All right, in which case, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Let's go to the last part of this, and that's fuel deliveries by precinct. Precinct number 1.
I have no other choice for Scott Oil, and I wouldn't choose anybody else anyway. probably.
Okay, and so you've got Scott Oil for an off-site, which is the only option you have because you don't have tanks on site, which I'm good with that. So you have the fuel management services. That's your motion.
That's my motion.
Second.
Somebody gonna give me a second sooner or later.
Any coffee?
Scott Oil, yeah, Scott Oil.
Second.
So precinct number 1 is Scott S&S. They only bid on precinct 1. It's that fuel station that's up on 174, just north of Blum.
Right
So,
across the street from my barn.
yeah,
Offset.
yeah, it's offsite with a without a fuel management system. So, all right. So there's motion to second. Anything further on that one? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Precinct 2. What are you doing about fuel?
I'm gonna go with
Big check.
Dixie LP and Big Check Fuel.
Dixie LP for off-site, I'm sorry, Big Check on-site. So you have tanks on-site and you
Yes,
have to buy fuel off-site.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you're not writing fast enough.
Okay, Dixie LP for on-site.
Okay, for Dixie LP for on-site, that's the fuel tanks at the barn. And then off-site, when they're out and about and they're not, have to go all the way back to the barn, going to Independent Oil.
Yeah.
Dixie LP.
Availability.
All right. Motion and a second. So Commissioner Crumpton made the motion, Commissioner Hawkins made the second. I'll ask for discussion. Any discussion? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I'm
Ms.
confused. Who's gonna deliver your fuel?
Big Check is what he's saying, on-site for Big,
Check is
Big
gonna
Check.
deliver,
Big Check.
And then
What is a big check?
Big
It's out of West, the one he's used before. But Big Check.
Both of them.
Oh, no. Scratch through that, that's Big Check. These people are the same folks. Dixie LP,
Oh,
Independent Oil,
okay.
Dixie LP, the same folks. It's Independent Oil Company, Dixie LP Gas, but the same
Gotcha.
company. Okay. Yes, ma'am, no problem. We have a motion and second on that?
Yep.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Precinct 3.
Make it simple, independent oil.
Okay, Independent Oil for both on-site and off-site fuel?
I only have on-site.
Oh, that's right, you don't, forgive me, you don't do off-site fuel. Okay.
My motion.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve Dixie Independent Oil. How about that? I just
Thank
keep,
you.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Independent Oil it is. So to approve Independent Oil as the on-site fuel provider for Precinct 3, Hill County. We have a second from Commissioner Crumpton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Precinct number 4, what's happening?
Oh, I tested co-op, but they're a whole lot higher than anybody else.
I noticed that. They kind of gotten a little expensive on their
Yeah,
fuel.
well, they figure we're right there, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Now, I do fill up some at Independent Oil here, but
So you're going to want to take them on for an off-site and then on-site for, well, actually, that's no, you can't do that.
I can't do that.
Yeah, it's kind of a bind because if you got to send everybody down here to get fuel, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, no, I tested co-ops are answer, but I fill up the pickup at Independent a lot of times, because I don't want to drive all the way back to Itasca to fill up.
Well, we can't really do that. We can only accept one bid on this.
Okay,
I mean, I know it's senseless, but that's how the law is set up and I have to advise you accordingly. Now, we still have another thing is the only person that bid for the fleet card system we'll talk about in just a second. That's the last thing. So, all right, so there's,
okay. I'll
So
just
you're
say
gonna-
Itasca and make a
all right,
motion.
so for the offsite
Second.
without fuel management, motion and a second, motion by Commissioner Lake, second by Commissioner Montgomery. For precinct number 4 will be the Itasca Co-op. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed, motion carries.
They are pretty high.
All right, now there's those times that we're out and about, we're away from the rest of the county, and, we need to buy fuel. So the only person that has given us a statewide request for offsite fuel management services is Fleet Card, Fleet Card, as we all know. And I recommend that we take their bid for those times.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to accept the bid of Fleet Corps Fuel Man.
So how do we go about getting the cars in?
I want to point to somebody that's not me at the moment. Yeah, there you go, Susan. She's volunteering. Let's do that.
Okay.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Thank you very much for making this rather painless bid process this year. Normally, this takes forever, and I know for you people in the audience, it did take forever, but I promise this was quick.
We can go back and argue over something.
What would you like to argue about? Pick a topic. No? Okay.
I like the jalapenos better than I do the regular.
No, I'm a Serrano man personally, but. All right, so number 13, observe and record the Community Supervision and Corrections Department audit for 8/31 of 2020. You have before you your packet from Pillow, Brown and Hill, the Community Supervisions and Corrections Department financial statements and the supplementary information for the year ended August 31st, 2020. You will find that, again, there was no material findings in this report, another good financial year. So we want to thank Mr. Greg Mason and his counterparts down there, and of course, Ms. Swilling for helping him as their financial agent.
You can sleep good, Frank.
All right. Do we have a motion to observe and record?
Motion.
Motion and a second to observe and record the Community Supervision and Corrections Department audit for August 31, 2020. Any further discussion on this particularly lovely document you have in front of you? None? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Number 14 is observe and record a letter from Texas Division of Emergency Management recording closeout for DR 4223-TX and requirement to maintain records for 3 years until March the 12th of 2024. This goes back a long ways. Susan, 4 years?
The first floods of 15, it was that.
15.
We had 2 floods in 15.
It was the first one, not the second, not 25, it was 23. So yeah, this is from 2015, finally wrapping up FEMA disaster.
Make a motion, we close it.
Second.
All right, we have a motion second to observe and record the letter from Texas Division of Emergency Management recording the closeout of DR 4223-TX. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Nobody's sad to see that go. Number 15, yes,
Can I
ma'am.
just add,
Yeah,
so any documents you have, we still have to hold on to them for 3 years. They can send some other auditors. to
Correct.
something. So those of you, that was mostly precinct 1 and 3. Well, I think everybody had some of that, but 1 and 3 had some. So hang on to your documents for 3 more years.
you got it. All right.
Okay.
Discussion, number 15, discussion action on liability and property renewals of Texas Association of Counties. We've got to bring this up every couple of years. We go out for bid just to keep things, I hate to say keep them honest because they're honest people, but to keep things competitive. This is not one of those years. And I would recommend under the circumstances that we accept and renew property and liability insurance with Texas Association of Counties this year.
So I'll second.
All right, thank you very much. We're in the middle of taking them for a bit of a ride with this building, so I'd hate to, hate to lose them quite at the moment. So we have a motion and a second to accept their liability or renew the property and liability with Texas Association of Counties. Any further discussion on that? Susan, are you good with that? I thought so. I didn't think you'd want to go out. Yeah. No. All right, I'm gonna ask a question then. Everybody that's in agreement, say yay. Yay. Everybody says against, nay. Nay. Okay. Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Number 16, discussing our action on appointing Gail Coleman and Andrea Wimberly, the Child Protective Services Board. I don't see Mrs. Wimberly or Mrs. Coleman with us, but since they're not, I'm gonna tell you, these are 2 fine individuals that are stepping up to volunteer to help the children of Hill County. I really appreciate that they showed an interest in being on this board. This board does a good bit, as you gentlemen know, and those in the audience may know, for the children of Hill County to find themselves in some unfortunate situations. So it's my motion that we appoint Gayla Coleman and Andrea Wimberly to the Child Protective Services Board.
Second.
Somebody seconded that, so we're good. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? If I'm hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 17, we're not gonna be able to take action on this today, but I do want to point out, so we had discussed and approved Hill County for a sponsor a community development block grant. We get about one of these every 3 or 4 years. I've never had 2 requests in a single year, and we came across a rule. Apparently, the community block development people only allow the county to sponsor 1 person a year. So in the future years, to make this, since we've already gone ahead and done this for another city in the county this year, in the future, to make this fair, I would think sometime in January, we need to do a call for sponsorships. Now, anybody that's interested in having the county as their sponsor needs to contact us so we can go through them. Again, we've never been presented with this before, but I don't want it to look like we're playing favorites with any city in this county. Everybody should have a fair shot. Now that we've got two and we can only do one, I can't ask you to sponsor the second one for the other city. If we'd known about it up front, we could have had some conversations. But that being the case, I would say in the future, I definitely want to make a call in the month of January for anybody looking at a community development block grant that might need our sponsorship. So
Have some representatives post up here, you care if they get up?
by all means, come
plead
on
your
up.
case a little bit?
Yeah, plead your case. What we did is we already, okay, so let me tell you, you're welcome to get up and plead, and I want to hear what you have to say. Another community water supply, Aquila Water Supply Corporation, not the district, corporation, little 127 meter deal. They're the ones that got to us first on this.
Sure.
But go ahead, what do you guys got?
Well, I'm Ron. I manage Post Oak SUV over Hubbard, and I've got Alan Gray, board member, Danny Miles, board member. We were just interested in, we've got uncharacteristic growth going on, basically.
Yes, sir.
And we don't really have the infrastructure. Most of these systems, all of them were put in 50 or 60 years ago for agricultural rural use. And now with all the growth coming in and people want to subdivide, we're just not capable of supporting that. So that's the reason we were wanting to apply for that CDBG grant.
I'd be happy to sponsor you, but like I said, but they're going to hit you and say, no, they already sponsored one.
Sure,
Again, I apologize to you personally, because had we known there was interest, this is just not something we do very often. We've done them over the last 15 years I've been here for Woodrow Osceola. I think by Rome we did it, and we did it for the city of Hillsborough once, but they really don't need a sponsor. A couple others, so it rarely comes up, and I'm surprised, but very, very happy to see 2 in a year now. We're going to change our processes so in the future we can give everybody notice up front, beginning of the year, that we're looking at doing something like this. So it's a more fair process for everybody, and try to get it where if you guys have an interest in next year, definitely doing that.
Sure, we just wanted to come and let you know that way next time if we're not unfamiliar, and we appreciate you. And if something comes up like with, everything's crazy with COVID and you get refunded, so to speak, sooner than normal, and we're interested, and we would love for you to.
That's it. And for some reason, now that we have your name, if this other thing doesn't go through with the Aquila Water Supply Corporation, then I'll be happy to reach out to you gentlemen through the commissioner and see if we can't still help you at that point.
That sounds great.
Thank you all for being here with us here today. I greatly appreciate that. Yes, sir.
One other thing I'd like to add there,
Yes, sir.
they run just south of Bynum, all the way to Coolidge, which I know is in Limestone County,
That's okay.
from Navarre County, almost to Mount Common. So their sub encompasses a big portion of my precinct, man. So I just want to throw that in there.
They're one of the largest water supply districts outside of Woodrow Osceola and the corporation. Yes, sir.
And also, we've got a contract that we're negotiating with Byron to sell water to Byron, which is
Really?
large. So we've got a pretty big commitment and obligation to, a big part of the county. So we would love for.
So once that takes place, you're looking from Bynum to Abbott South
Wow.
is what you're looking at.
You guys will cover that.
Yes, sir.
That's incredible. So good deal. Hey, thank you for being with us. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Let us know if there's something else we can help you on at the same time. I know occasionally Texas Water Development Board grants come up, and we've been asked to sign off on those in our support resolutions. We're happy to do those things as well. We want to support the responsible growth in Hill County, so just keep in contact with us.
Likewise, if we can help you guys, let us know.
Oh, you are. You're getting water to Citizens Hill County. You're doing me a heck of a service. I appreciate it. So, all right, we're going to move along then to number 18, which is discuss and approve action on agreement for reimbursement of mental health counseling services. And what you have is a letter from the Heart of Texas Council of Government addressed to myself, enclosed two signed original copies. Hill County will receive $4,275 for the reimbursement of mental health counseling services during fiscal year 21, which was October of 20 to August 31st of 21. Funds are provided by Hot Togs JJDP, Juvenile Justice Defense Program, for a project through Juvenile Justice Alternative Grant offered by the Office of the Governor. So if anybody's interested in signing off on a resolution to accept $4,275 from the top, I figured there would be a motion. Motion and a second. Anything further? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. They got a little envelope there for you to send it back to them. Number 19, observe and record County Treasurer Rhonda Burkhart continuing education for the 2020 Certificate of Compliance for Public Funds. Investment Act,
Make a motion to third and fourth.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Really? Not a single aye.
Oh, sorry. I was reading.
We're gonna have to have a coffee break here in a minute, gentlemen. I'm gonna tell you what, folks, chop, chop, chop. All right, we have no nays then, I'm guessing, since everybody said aye. All right, no abstentions. All right, we're gonna pass that one then. Number 20 is discussion or action on the final plat for the Lake Whitney Acres subdivision. This is across the street from the White Bluff area. They have paved the road to our specifications. We have got the blessing sign off on
It
it.
looks beautiful.
I've heard such, and I went.
It is the best road in this county. You can check from state on down. It's the best road in this county right now.
Good deal. Well, we have before us all other requirements of our subdivision rules and regulations have been met on this issue. So, yes, sir.
I'm signing, I'm ready to sign.
Well, you have to make a motion, man.
I'll make a motion.
Are you accepting that into the county? Any workmanship on?
It is not required under our rules because there's no guarantee required under our rules because we had Mr. Ince go out and inspect it during construction and the commissioner inspect it. And Mr. Ince is a licensed engineer and stamp surveyor. So yes, sir, Mr. Basham is here representing the.
The paving company did, does have a 1-year guarantee on workmanship.
Okay.
Okay, good. Again, not required under our rules, but a good idea.
Yeah, but I thought there was something like that, that a contractor does have a period of time that would.
I mean, you could sue him for some common law things for warranty of suitability and
Yeah,
he's doing, so.
but he just answered the question.
Good deal, wonderful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so again, if anybody wants to look at it, this is the road starting on FM Highway 933 and going for approximately a little over half mile,
Almost a month.
almost a mile. Oh, okay, a little over a mile. So those are good. So you got a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve Lake Whitney.
Question about the motion.
It should actually enter the words in there, shouldn't
Does your motion include accepting the express dedication of the road in the county road maintenance system?
Yes, my motion does.
So we have a motion and a second to accept the final plat of Lake Whitney Acre subdivision with the express dedication of the roads therein to the county of Hill.
Precinct 1.
You never know how that's gonna get redistricted. Yeah, but I got you. Okay, good deal. Motion second still stands, sir? Okay, good deal. Any further discussion on this issue? If not, all in favor say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions?
Goodbye, look at that.
Motion carries.
It's good.
All right, so I'm going to put my signature on these. There's going to be a total 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 3, right?
I think it's 4.
It may be 4. Total of 3.
I can't count. today.
That's okay. That's all right. There's that.
That's why he's Commissioner 1, he counts 1.
That's the only count of 1.
No taking your shoes off in the courtroom to count. There's some strict rules around here. All right, we've got number 21, discussion action on public hearing for consideration of a game room ordinance and advertising of the same. Mr. Holmes.
Your Honor, you actually approached me sometime last year about the county considering the game room ordinance, and I know that has the support of the sheriff's office. Because of issues with other criminal activity that go along with these game rooms. You and I met late yesterday and went over the proposed ordinance, made a few changes. I believe that we need to set a public hearing for public comment on the proposed game room ordinance. We need to publish that on the website, and then we'll need to publish the notice of public hearing in the paper for 30 days, I believe. So my suggestion is either hold the public hearing at the regular meeting on April the 27th, or the first regular meeting in May, which is May the 11th.
I'm going to ask for the May meeting simply because I don't think I can get it in the paper published because of the publication dates that get us, it'd be pretty close to that 30-day, and I don't want this, me too. Might I recommend in the Commissioners Court, let me first background what we're trying to do here. Now, we have a number of spin rooms, game rooms, things like that. Under certain circumstances, those can be legal in the state of Texas. However, a lot of times people take what appearance of legality and do a little bit shadier stuff on the back end of things. We have found that there's been problems that we've come to our attention between human trafficking, delivery and manufacture of controlled substances, and illegal gambling on top of it at some of these game rooms. The Texas legislature about 3 sessions ago gave the county some ability to regulate these. It's not a huge ability, but it's some. And I propose to this court, I have been fairly hands-off as a laissez-faire style of government with a lot of things, but this particular issue is a health and safety issue for the county of Hill. And I believe that we have a duty and a right to regulate in this zone, and we should. These game rooms, and I'm not talking about the Catholic charitable bingo. No, we're exempting that. That's not what we're worried about. We're worried about people that are using, taking advantage of citizens in these illicit game rooms. And I think that we have a duty as Commissioners Court to act and provide tools to law enforcement and to our prosecutors whereby they can act. So I would recommend that we set a date of May 11th, 2021 to hold a public hearing on an ordinance regulating game rooms in the incorporated, unincorporated, and unincorporated area of Hill County, Texas.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anybody got any discussion on that? Yay, nay?
The 11th is gonna be when we discuss it and hash out what the do's and don'ts.
Yes, sir, because what we'll have to do is we're going to advertise in the newspaper of circulation, aka the reporter. We have to advertise that public hearing for no less than 30 days. So by setting it, if we get that thing out at the end of this week, that'll give us plenty of time to get that advertised.
The current ones won't be grandfathered.
No, sir, I don't believe so. Our rules are going to apply to everybody. Basically, they're going to have to request a permit. We're going to have to work in conjunction with the sheriff's office to develop a permitting process whereby we can go in and we can look at what these folks are doing. They will have to tell us something about themselves. No longer can we allow to have nefarious character with questionable backgrounds operating these facilities in Hill County. It's just not safe for the residents of Hill County to continue to do that kind of stuff. So, all right, I have a motion and a second to hold a public hearing and post notice of that public hearing for on May 11th, 2021. Is there any further commentary? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, pursuant to Texas Government Code, Chapter 551074, the Hill County Commissioners Court will convene into executive session regarding personnel matters. What we're going to do is take about a 7-8 minute recess because I got to go take care of some things here real quick. And we're going to come back in executive session. There's 5 candidates before the court today for the position of Justice of the Peace Precinct 1. We will, in no particular order, randomly pull each one of you in, have a conversation with you, an interview, if you will, regarding the same questions we asked the other JPs. After that is the anticipation that the court will meet by themselves and their counsel, and we will come to the decision on who the next JP for precinct number 1 will be. And we will hope to announce that today sometime. Matter of fact, I hope to announce it before noon because I got to drive to Lubbock this afternoon and I don't want to. So, all right, anything further? If not, we're going to recess into executive session. If I can get my candidates for the JP to catch out in the hallway, stay with us, and we'll call you in one at a time here shortly. I'm going to get a cup of coffee.